I sent it in. Oh, there. Okay, we have to let me know how you like the new layout. To anybody who might be joining in, whoever is wind up first, if you end up hearing me first, I totally didn't get distracted trying to like rebuild this fucking house and like forget the stream. But yeah, I was doing shit. Whatever. It's very front heavy now though. Hi Psycho, how you doing? Do you think it's a little front heavy maybe?
Whoa. I had all the sounds of the house being built happen at once.
You're welcome.
It was just like, I'm glad I didn't have my stream on game. Yeah, it was just on starting soon.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey yo.
No.
Oh.
Oh, there are a bunch of campfires around here I haven't gotten yet. Behind us.
Yeah, there's a few around.
Alright. Well, how do you like the new layout?
Ooh. Ooh.
You're probably wondering where our beds. Go upstairs.
Are they up here? Oh my god. Oh my god, cozy little corner with the duck.
And then got a little dress up area, and we got the companion training thing here for when we get a dog. Oh, thank you for the plushy smacks.
I think we can also get a cat.
A cat.
We
I
might have
saw a dog on the preview screen. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? I'm not a nerd. You're a nerd. Fuck you.
Oh yes, we need to share chat.
I put these up here. I rebuilt this like, look, it's a good thing that this isn't architectural simulator because like this would just be very front heavy. Okay, I was like, well, I need to remove some from the back to put more up, you know. I wanted height, I guess. I don't know.
I have sent you invite.
Yeah, thank you. We're adorable trash can. Yay!
Yeah, we're feeling shy. Yippee!
All right. So I think that store your rocks in the back. Exactly. That's where all that. Look. You see all this stuff right here? Technically, they are. We put them in here. That's
Honestly,
the
yeah, the back would
counterweight.
be very heavy. Like, as well, it's got all these workbenches.
We got 94 whole rocks in there.
Ooh.
What?
It's been changing this. What are these bottles for? It's one of the upgrades we've been doing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that's for.
Maybe
I feel like that's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there, but it's had one bottle at the start.
Oh, did it? I have no idea.
Now it's got 3.
94 Dwaynes.
Could be weight, could be the outdoor area. I don't know.
Rocks. Oh, I see. Yes. I see. I get it now.
94 Dwayne.
Dwayne's the Rock Johnsons. I wonder if I can get up there by...
Dwayne's.
No. Damn. Look, I show you guys.
Milk.
This is our room that I built. It has our closet. It's a companion training once we have a doggo. And our beds up here. And then it has like the roof, and on top of the roof it's got more windmill thingies. Now look, I'm very tall. Very tall, much tall. It is a room, yes. Anyways, Tristan, let's go to sleep and then we can go get the campfires that we missed. I've made it very inconvenient to sleep.
It's okay. If we want convenience, we can always just sleep on the bottom.
True. Alright. Oh my god, the logs came back. It's okay, no worries. I'll go chop it down again. And grab this random banana off the ground. Random ground banana.
Oh, takes a
There
while
we go.
for
Yeah, stream started a little bit later. Can you get a house tour? Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my god, I love that. 15 stream streak. Damn. You're on a roll. That's fucking awesome. Okay, house tour. So here is our van. You've seen that. I'm gonna go upstairs. And I made it small. So as soon as you get up here is the garden, right? So you cannot fucking forget to water this shit. Because it is like right there.
Oh my god, she's watering it and it might rain today, but we don't know.
You're right. We don't know.
It's fine.
I ran out of water. Anyways,
That's why I haven't been watering things.
I'll just leave the watering to him. Okay. Want to get tips to build? Oh God, terrible tips. Terrible tips. Okay. Look. So I was like, okay. Well, at first I was like, well, okay. I definitely want the workshop, right? So if we start here, here's starting with wood, and it goes into nailing, and then this is smasher for smashing rocks. Okay. Then you come over here. Here's the metal smelter. You take the metal and you can put it in the bolt press or the sheet press here, and then you make an assembler to make electronic parts. And you can use the electronic parts to make batteries. Yeah. So there's a method, okay? And then if you come over here, here's the fucking kitchen. We've got the food processor and the cooking pot and the baking oven. Over here, we've got the roasting station and the coffee machine. Here, we put recycling in here so that we can make tickets. Right? Holy fuck, we have a lot of tickets.
Yeah, I just put all the litter we had in there.
Then over here, we've got the research station for the vehicle, the companion, and the gear station. So there's that. And then over here, we've got spinning wheel for cloth. We've got the sewing table and the mortar and pestle. The mortar and pestle is used for making paint, which we are going to grind out a little bit today because I did ask Tristan if it
Yes.
was okay if we just like take a bit to go get some paints so I can feel a little bit better about our house because it is currently very wood, which is fine. We
Make
could
a bunch
just
of
leave it like
growth
this and
if
it'd
we
be
need
fine.
that.
Two stinkies? Let's see. Let's see if you're correct.
Ooh, stinkies.
I'm 57% sneaky, and that is only because I'm currently actively in a trash can.
I'm 68%. Oh my god, I'm 1% too low.
Four stinkies. All right, let's go.
I'm in.
Hold on.
How
We
I
gotta turn
entered the
around. We gotta turn around.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I see the maze ahead of us. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a dirt path up here which will take us to an upper
Look at that
area on
maze.
the left.
This
We might have to
maze was
walk
the
it.
bane of my existence yesterday. Look at that.
Yeah, we got stuck in there at night.
That was
Yeah,
terrible.
we might have
I
to
hated
walk up
that.
the path on the left to get up the cliff.
That's fine. I just
Wait, we can get
want
the
to get
campfire
closer
back.
to it. No, we have the camp. We have this campfire. We don't have the one
Yeah, we have
ahead.
this, but there's a dirt path we could walk up.
This way.
Right here.
Yeah.
But
I'm just getting us closer to it.
yeah.
You're clean. Oh my god, only 1% stinky? Jesus, I didn't
Oh.
realize the thing was glitched. Cheese maze by parkouring from roof of car.
Well, the problem is the car
Mmm.
wasn't near it.
Yeah, the car
She
wasn't.
cheesed the maze by Aiko getting nauseous and then me brute forcing it. I deliberately went the wrong way every single time to try and get everything. And I got a bunch of coconuts, some bottle caps, some other nice things.
Oh, what is this also ahead?
Oh, there's a ladder here. Oh, this is just a quick way up.
Oh, that's
Is
cool.
this all... Okay, these aren't tulips.
Oh, they don't have to be tulips. Flowers in general, I think. Could
Yeah,
just
but
build a bridge from car since physics don't exist. You could, theoretically, maybe.
some wildflowers.
But then
Maybe
I'd
two.
probably have to get rid of a lot of the stuff up here because we have some stuff that we need, like building stuff. Where am I at now? Okay,
Yeah, we
that's
could have
fine.
done that, but our car wasn't nearby.
Yeah. And then I tried to like unstuck to nearby the car and it stuck me like, okay, so here's the maze. It like brought me all the way over here to this banana field. I was nowhere near it.
Getting a decent amount of wildflowers, which give 2 flower petals each,
But that's
rather
good.
than tulips giving 1.
That's good. I'm gonna go get the other campsite. I think that if I'm driving, he might be able to unstuck to me.
Yeah, I can unstuck wherever and it'll put me in the car, but I don't know if I'll lose my inventory or not.
No, I don't think so. I've never lost my
Um,
inventory.
there is a thing we can repair down here as well, and there's also a thing we can repair.
Are you having bananas, Milky? Are you having milk? What? What did you say, Ben?
There's a couple of things we can repair. There's one down here which I think will uh needs 1 bolt and 2 redwood planks. And I think it will drain out this cave that's full of water.
Okay. I'll come down there.
Um,
Do, 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 do. Oh, why's Kira's Stinky not coming up?
If you just go by this campfire, it should be fine. If we can use the ladder to get down.
Are you on Tristan's stream or are you on my stream?
Kiara is going between both of ours.
Well, it only the Stinky command only works on my stream. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where are you at?
I'm here. Hello. So
I'm gonna go with you.
we need another redwood plank.
Can we drive down there? I'll get. What the fuck? It's getting ready to climb with the ladder. The ladder disappeared.
I'm just gonna take a couple of scrap.
Coco hoards all stinks. I do. I hoard all the stinky people in my trash can. Okay, I have 2 redwood planks. I don't know if that's helpful.
Oh, that's what we need.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Where are we going?
Let's go down here. So down this ladder.
Oh,
We can't exactly drive there.
why? I mean, there's a road down there. All right. Let's find out.
I mean, it'll take a little bit to get back up. But I went into here yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't been here yet. This is what happens when you
Um,
go off adventuring without me.
I went into this hut while you went to the right up the hill.
Okay. I need bolt.
Oh,
Oh, I moved it.
I forgot to grab a bolt. I grabbed scrap and I was like, yeah, it's scrap, right? No, it's bolts. Yeah, and I think you have to put the gears in the way so they're all moving.
Okay. Let's see. Well, this
Bolts.
seems like a pretty good spot.
Do we not have any bolts? Might have to make another
I feel
one.
like I've just made that worse.
Bolt press.
Just pretending to do things because Tristan already did it. So he already fixed it and put it exactly where it needed to go. And so I'm not doing anything except for making it worse.
I got the bolts. There's more wildflowers over here. I think that's why I ended up over here, because I was just chasing flowers.
That's
Here you
busy.
go, honey. Uh,
I did a thing.
nice.
Hold on, don't worry. I'll fix this. Yay! I'm so smart. It's fucking nothing. Yay, I did it. Tristan did it. I just broke it and then fixed it again so that I.
Don't worry, it was glitched on my screen.
Was it?
Yeah,
Because,
I had to move things to fix it on my screen.
well, so you had to fix it twice because basically when I went up to it, it was already fixed. It was in the fixed position because you already did it.
Yeah, a couple of them weren't, and then when I moved them, it just, for some reason, moved them back out of the fixed position.
I've got a
I
bunch of
think it should have
wildflowers.
drained this cave.
Maybe. Hold on.
Yes, it has.
Hold on, there's a cairn over here.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. Missed that one.
Where are you?
At the entrance to the cave, right by the house. I can see you over there.
Oh, I see, I see.
Hello.
Hello. I'm getting some flowers too.
This level of affection is too much for my single arse.
What did I do?
I
What did
I
I say?
don't know.
I don't even know what
You
I
just
said. I think I
did.
said I was gonna get flowers. I'm gonna get flowers so I can make paint. I could see how that's a bit much. Oh, a gnome. A gnome with a banunu.
You got
It's
no.
Andrew Nammer.
There's a crate you can crack open and a supply cache.
Oh yeah, I got a bamboo.
Nice. What's in the supply cache? Some thread and a singular red ore.
Oh yeah, that was worth all my time and resources. I feel like we didn't get much out of that, except for the gnome. The gnome was worth it.
Gnome, 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 gnome.
I'm going up here. I'm going to put all my flowers in the mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
And then we can sleep here again and go down and get more flowers.
We could, yeah.
Did you put your flowers in the...
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, all my flowers are in the car.
sweet. I'm just making all the paints. Okay. Day 31.
Oh my god.
Time to gather more flowers.
The flowers of powers.
You can go gather flowers and I can paint things. For the Rizzler, you're so skibbity, you're so fantax. I just wanna be your Sigma. Frickin' come here, give me your Ohio. Oh, Kiro did not like that.
Yes,
Kiro,
there
do you
was
think I'm here
indeed.
because I enjoy it? Do that. Do that.
Oh, oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
Becky, look
Hero
at
is
her
today's
butt.
first.
Oh my god. Becky, look at her butt. You'll make us make it
It is indeed old
coastal.
train rock. Aiko's been suffering quite a while.
Yeah. Been here for 33 years.
And you're only 36. Oh my god, Kiara's sorry. What are you sorry about? What's happening? You can't save me. I don't need saving. I'm in love.
Oh my god, he's in denial. He
I
doesn't know.
didn't know I was in Egypt. I'm in denial.
God, I love him. I love this man. I love him.
Swimming in the river with the crocodiles.
I don't know how do I want to make this? Okay, I think what we'll do is we will opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird. The ones this way didn't respawn. Okay. Well, half the flowers respawned and half didn't.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, babe. Not a pain.
Love making you do stupid things like One Piece marathons.
Yeah.
Is entertainment stupid?
I really enjoy the One Piece marathons, I'll have you know. Anyways,
Sometimes
so you got
stupid gets cute.
sunflowers. Where will we find more flowers?
I have put in 20 more flower petals.
We need moss flowers. Hold on. Maybe there's more by this campfire way back in the beginning that we missed.
Maybe.
That's okay. We can use it. We could pretend that we're going there for the,
We do have a big hill to climb still.
yeah.
Backwards.
But what? I was just saying that we could use the tower as an excuse. Oh, there's also, yeah, this tower right here. Oh, crap.
Yeah. Got a big hill to drive up.
This one with the tower at the top?
What?
This one?
Yes.
Okay, but we also have this back here.
We do. And I imagine we'll get the ferry, which will allow us back in the... That might be for the next area, though.
Mm-hmm. Because it looks like there's a next area going this way. You see?
Yeah, at the top right of the map, there's
Mm-hmm.
another next area. How many campfires? We're missing 6 campfires. You see 2 on the map, so there's
2D,
another...
live 2D riggers and their unrealistic physics. House on wheels, but not like this. Yeah. Look, this is super realistic. Counterbalancing it with all the rocks in the trunk. obviously. How else do you think this thing's gonna move? It would just be like really back heavy if it weren't for. It'd be really back heavy if it wasn't for our rocks. I mean, our house on top.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm going this
there's
way.
redwood we have to chop here.
Yeah, we've done this twice already, 4 times.
It respawns every
Yeah,
day.
for some fucking reason. I don't know. It's terrible, terrible game design.
Infinite spawn in wood.
Yep.
Actually, really nice because we get a bunch of redwood from it.
Goodbye. Banunu, 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 banunu,
Oh no, she's getting the banunu.
banunu.
Yeah, there's a
Other
dirt path
banunu.
here.
Two banunu.
Nice. So I haven't explored up this dirt path, but we can just keep taking the road all the way back.
Yeah, I was just gonna take the road.
And we can
Well, I
affect
mean, yeah, I
the...
guess we could go down this way. Because it doesn't look like we've explored. Yeah, we haven't explored this either.
We might have to walk up
Is
it.
this the fucking maze?
No,
It's something
to
else.
loop around.
Okay. I think we're good. We could drive it.
Oh, nice. Motor upgrade came in handy.
Yeah, you curse you two with modded Minecraft. Well, we've played modded Minecraft. We're not currently in a Minecraft hyperfixate.
We currently are not, no.
Okay. You guys can't even see the fucking faces I'm making right now because of my being tuber.
Well,
They are aggressively
nice.
grunty faces.
Do you want to get
Yes,
the blueprint?
I do. I do.
I get this crap.
Do we want beehive or rubber process? Let's process some rubber.
Yeah.
We need more ducks.
Quack, quack. Stack the can.
Let's see.
The can.
If you can.
Karen.
Karen.
How do we get up to the rest of this? I mean, what I'm doing is somehow
Or
working.
we need 4 bolts.
There's no campfire.
Okay, just give me a moment. Yeah, if we're in a Minecraft hyperfixation, you ain't even gotta curse us with modern Minecraft. We'll do that shit on our own.
We played like a solid, what, 2 months of Minecraft?
Yeah, like from like the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep.
Yeah.
Heavy metal music, but it's just lead pipes falling. That sounds delightful. You're opening a server next month?
Ooh.
Any specific mod pack, or are you just one of your own?
Okay, so I think this hill's not intended to climb up because there's no resources up here. There's no pathway to get up it.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know how to get to the top.
Goodbye.
No.
Get in. A Rapidash in the chat. Do you
Main
want it?
things
Throw
are
balls at it.
create aeronautics.
Oh, that sounds awful. That sounds not fun at all. What do you mean?
From my very limited experiences with Create, it's very much just other games do it better.
I don't know why it kicked me out of the car.
Neither do I.
No, not ready to roll. That was kind of what we already just did.
Yeah, go back to the start and we'll come back and get the signal tower stuff
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
We can go to the unexplored areas.
Aeronautics has airships and stuff you can build. Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I got that. Sounds opposite of fun.
Yeah, my limited knowledge of Create is just like you can just play a different game and that has those features of machines and it'll probably do it better because Minecraft is not designed for that.
I think that Create is a really good mod pack for people who get it. I'm
Ooh.
just really dumb. I think Tristan's view of Create is my view of Create because he likes me and he plays with me. So it's gonna be a little biased.
No, but genuinely, like the machines and stuff we've seen in
Boom.
the villages
Nope,
have
didn't
all
catch
just
him.
been like meh,
No, they're really
and then
cool.
like
If what you're doing, if what your focus on is like a steampunk style world, it's fantastic.
oh, that's probably the problem. I'm not much of a fan of steampunk. I'm more
I just
fantasy.
I like more if I'm gonna play modded Minecraft, I'm gonna go for streamlined technology. Like
Oh yeah,
I'm not sitting there trying to make crafting slower.
yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like you've kind of sort of automated it, but it's like really fucking slow.
Oh, there's a beach down here with a campfire on it. And the
No, it
entrance.
combines stuff, but I get it. Like sodas, like just playing normal Minecraft. Wait till you play GTNH. I don't know what
Are
that
we
is.
going to ever play GTNH?
I don't know what GTNH is.
Only 2,000 hours or something. No, thank you.
Is that like
Oh, here's the path down to the beach.
Greg Technique? No, absolutely not. Fuck that shit. I've tried to play one thing of Greg Tech. It took me like 17 years just to figure out how to make a door. No, no. No, it took me forever to figure out how to make a door. Of course, to be fair, that was back in like 1.7. It was 1.7 Greg Tech, but still, that's the benchmark? No. I think as complicated as I'll get is Project Ozone, which I love and does not require create. What? What? I'm confused. I'm confused by your reaction. Project Ozone 3.
Doesn't Kappa mode just make things
Look,
worse?
look, 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 look. I have. I've done normal. Titan is a little bit better. Kappa is a bit much for me. Kappa's very, like, starts giving Greg Tech for sure.
Does it just artificially inflate the value of items you need to craft?
Yes and no. It's just a lot more complicated. But the thing is I can't even do Project Ozone right now because oh, I forgot y'all are married, cries and single, no life, friends, no
Yeah, the
friends celebrating.
multiplayer
Yeah,
just doesn't seem good and like
we haven't been able to figure out how to load up
what
Project
happens
Ozone.
with
Like we
Project
really
Ozone.
every single time we try and play it, it crashes if we try and play it multiplayer,
Yeah.
which sucks because like I fucking love Project Ozone and I would love to play it with Tristan, but I can't because it just won't fucking it just crashes every time we try to play it. So I tried playing one of the newer ones. It just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same feeling. I feel like Project Ozone is special.
I've been abandoned.
Project
I've been abandoned. I hopped out to get some redwood and then my and then you left me.
I'm sorry. Wait, let me go back. I'll drive backwards.
Hello.
If I drive backwards, I mean clearly not drive backwards.
I'm on the roof.
There you are, Asga.
Okay, I'm in.
How'd you forget we're married? Also, I'm not really sure how that relates to Minecraft. I mean, we'll play everything. We like playing as many things together as we can. Sometimes we don't play things together, like we don't really play Animal Crossing together because I am the Animal Crossing fan. He likes Stranova. And we fucking missed the gut. No, we didn't miss it, the campsite. We haven't cut through yet. Okay. Get the recipe or whatever it is.
Oh, bottle cap we missed.
Okay.
Hanging party decorations, bamboo counters, or beach pack 2?
What's Beach Pack?
We get a surfboard, an inflatable pool, and a banana hammock.
Let's get that one. Let's get that one. That sounds fun.
Oh my god, my.
Did you get it?
No, it doesn't save my resources. So, like, I didn't have any download tickets.
Oh, I haven't.
And I lost the 5 I had on me.
Gotcha.
And there's a dirt path up here that'll take us to a structure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We should probably drive up.
Yeah. After I make a banana hammock.
Ew,
Princess
don't
Consuela banana hammock. I love that so much. It's fucking Princess Consuela banana hammock.
Princess Consuela?
It's a Friends reference.
Oh.
Phoebe got married to Mike, and Mike changed his name. Being like he Mike they were gonna change their name, right? And then they told whenever she went to go change her name for getting married to Mike, they told her, okay, what do you want your name to be? You can name it, you can be, basically let her know she could be whoever she wants to be. This is the tiniest inflatable pool ever. This is so disappointing. Anyways, and so she's like, wait a minute, I can name myself anything I want. And so she named herself Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. And what did he name himself? Shitbag, I think. Just to try, because he was like, please don't name yourself Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. And look how tiny this pool is. This is ridiculous. Anyways, so she was like, so he named himself Shitbag so that she would name herself, so she would change her name back. It's like, fine, you want to play this game? Fine. You can name yourself whatever you want? Sure. I could also name myself whatever I want.
Aggressive compliance.
Well, yeah. What would you do if I named myself Princess Consuela Banana Hammock?
Be worried about your sanity.
Yeah, I think he was too.
Wow, this is really a disappointing inflatable pool.
Yeah.
Uh,
There we go. There's our fucking surfboard.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother truckers.
The hammock's nice. Goodbye.
Let's go up this path.
Right, right.
We'll go to the doghouse thingy. Can I pick? I can't pick. Oh. There we go. That was a really weird point I had to look to get that dog treat. Hey, I'm in the car.
Nice.
Nya 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 nya. Ba nya nya nya.
Banana.
I'm a banana. Oh well. Paws and Whiskers Lodge. That's a cute name. I see a dog.
Damn it. Is that gonna be our dog? Are we going to steal it? Fuck, why would you make me take 63? Why wouldn't you just auto to me being able to take one?
Maybe it just like one like the alt or the. It probably would have been alt was stuck down.
Okay, what were we doing? What were we doing? Dogs!
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
run back.
god, there's 3
There's a lot of
dogs.
dogs. There's 4 dogs.
Oh my god, I could
I guess there's
choose.
one for each player. Because you
Well,
gotta
it
play with
says
the
I could.
portal.
It says choose companions. So let's sleep until the next day, and then we can see them in the light.
Did I just say we're going to the doghouse? Yes.
Yes, we're going to the
We are
dog
indeed
house.
going to the doghouse.
DAGG.
Dog.
DAGG. That's what I said. Dag.
Doghouse.
Because it's so like. What the fuck? You guys do the double thing all the time, and I'm over here like trying to use double. All right, hold on. Let's go through this house
You've
first.
been you've been following me since 2022, and that's your first message you've sent. Oh wow.
What? Ooh,
He stalked
coffee.
me sometimes when I was streaming in the past.
Oh, he doesn't like talking to you though.
Yeah, he thinks
He
I'm
says
kinky.
talking to you is a bit much. That's a bit much closeness. Jeez. So do we each
I'm
get
not
it?
gonna allow that message through, Josh.
What is that message? Is it
Uh,
uh 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 I have to pick one. None of them seem to like me very much.
that's what the companion training's for.
All right. Uh uh
No, nothing in
uh
there. None of them are vibrant pink. Boo.
you know. Um um uh Let's go, backpack.
I'm not down with D Generation X.
This is my
No.
backpack.
No, Shawn Michaels and Triple H had a falling out. If I take this doggo and name it. What'd you name the dog?
Backpack.
uh, Satchel.
Come, backpack.
I missed the T.
What? What? You have a dog?
Yeah,
Did you choose the black and white dog? Which dog did you choose?
I took the orange one.
I
Where?
also took the orange one. Wait, no, I didn't. There's
You
your.
took the grey
I
one.
did take the gray one. I lost my dog. Where's
Do we just get one dog?
backpack?
Wait, what happens if you press control? Do you see your dog?
Oh, no, I see your dog, Satchel.
Where's your dog?
My dog disappeared and he took all my stuff. Wait, let me see if Satchel has my stuff. No, I don't think so.
That is stupid.
Oh, it says pouch 6 out of 10, so I think he might have my stuff. I'll miss you, backpack. Wait, you're not backpack. Backpack doesn't exist in this world anymore. We have somehow deleted him. Damn. Oh well, we have Satchel, which is fine.
Did you put litter, coffee, and dog treats in?
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be
What? That sucks.
training station to teach your companion new commands. Okay. We have a companion. Follow me. I want to see if I can. I don't know how to teach you new commands.
Why did backpack get deleted? If I knew it was only one dog, like why?
No,
Why
I
did the?
understand. That's okay. It made sense because if you like, it made sense that you would have thought. They, I don't know.
Oh, to teach a dog a new command, that's gonna be easier to make.
Oh, we unlocked the return to
Vehicle.
vehicle command.
Yeah, yeah. I just researched it. It was literally just some redwood and some seashells.
Okay.
You will be missed, backpack.
Poor backpack. All right. I upgrade. I installed the upgrade. Return to this vehicle. I guess. Uh, Follow me. And hold on. We'll figure it out. Figure out how
Follow
this works.
me, and you
So if I
see a
have
world
come
of
satchel.
pure. Yup, 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 yup.
Um,
Did you end up looting everything in this house?
I don't seem to have the command. I think I
Press
did.
control. Should be.
I pet the dog. Okay. Even though that was
Should be
me.
above. It should be the deposit materials.
Nope.
You don't have deposit materials?
No, I have deposit materials. I just don't have that command.
That's that command.
It says nothing to deposit.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything in him.
Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's test that theory then. Hold on.
I was in that menu when you got
Dog.
the upgrade and it showed up. Oh, there's more paths up here. Ooh. Oh, this is gonna be how we get up to the other campfire.
So that's just how he. Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Do you want to take him since you would use it more often?
Why would I use it more often?
Because you are typically the one out and about gathering up all those fucking resources? I don't know, maybe I'm also the one doing it. I don't know.
You usually get a lot of resources. The difference between me getting resources and you getting resources is when you return to the car, you drive off.
What?
And when I return to the car,
That doesn't sound
I
like
go
something I
upstairs
do.
to craft some things, and then you get in the vehicle and drive off and I fall.
That doesn't sound like me.
And then I spend 20 minutes chasing the car.
What? Crazy. That's crazy talk.
I am insane.
Come, Satchel.
In love with you.
I love you too.
Okay, there was a can up here.
Ah, yes.
Mm.
Ah, damn it. I didn't bring any. Perfect. I
Has there
found a
some
redwood.
redwood on
I
me?
found one.
Nice, nice. There might be some cans or something.
Found 3 bottle caps.
Watch out for the Karens.
Karen. No, I found a Karen. Eh.
Nice.
Well, damn. Do you think I was lying? Come, Satchel. I wonder if Satchel can retrieve materials. Here, hold on.
It can eventually. It's one of the things you have
Uh,
to train
right.
him
Okay. Well,
for.
I guess I'll pick everything up and just give it to you, I guess. There you go. Good dog.
Yeah, I was looking at the upgrades the dog gets, and yeah, retrieving materials is one of them, but
A bit away.
we might be able to get it if it might be the processed rubber.
I have rubber.
Well, we need more processed rubber, which we can process. Do we have the rubber processor? I know you unlocked it.
Uh, so I. Hmm. Shit. Ooh, I took a big fall.
Yes, we do have a rubber processor.
I fell. I don't know how I got so far away. I really don't know how this happened. My dog isn't even anywhere near me.
Oh, you fell on the other side of the cliff.
I fell off a cliff.
Let me see if that's the better whistle. We can expand the pouch.
Huh?
Okay, I can get the better whistle and then see what the last one is, which allows the dog to search for materials.
Okay.
It's a command to fetch a resource and stash it in that pouch. Oh, okay. So this would be individual resources. Oh,
I
yeah,
fed a
that's a good
bunny.
one. Okay, we will not be able to get the next one until the next zone.
Ran out of coast berries. I was sitting here starving and I fed all my berries to a rabbit. Oh, I found more. Found more coast berries.
Get hit. I think the real RB is hit their partner with their car and then ditch their body somewhere and then
Yeah.
get onto a true crime documentary in the
Oh,
future.
oh my God, no. Oh no. Oh no, that poor girl.
Yeah,
Oh, hello, dog.
Do not go on a road trip with your partner if they are abusive. That is how you end up
Dead.
dead.
Everest ain't got shit on me. Mount Everest ain't got shit on me. 'Cause I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the
Okay,
world.
so there's
Oh,
4 more campfires.
hold on. I'm gonna make common minerals real
3,
quick. Hold on.
2, probably 1.
Shit on me. I'm
Might be one at the
on
end of that
top of the
road.
world. I'm on top of the
Maybe.
world.
Wow.
Making things. Ooh. Oh yeah, we're gonna make more of that.
Do you mind if I use 4 paint?
Go for it. What are you painting?
I'm making a paintbrush so I can actually paint things.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. Got the paint.
Basically, I want the walls to be blue with like the light tan trim, and the roofs to be light tan with the blue trim.
Oh, cool. Uh, uh, I just fell through the car. Okay, okay.
Why? How?
I'm magic.
Okay. That's not where I'm supposed to be looking.
And now I can't go
Buddy,
up the ladder
don't need nobody. Why?
because I don't know.
Huh?
I
Is
guess the car's floating or something?
that better?
No, I can't even interact with the. Oh, I can interact with the bed down here now.
There you go.
I just can't go up the ladder. Oh, where did that go to? Okay, near the exit. We're gonna head out that way. Gonna be this campfire on the beach we'll go to next. There's one more. Oh, that's the last signal tower missing.
I'm making things. I'm making things. I'm making things. I'm making things.
I'm gonna sit on the bed. I'm sad we lost backpack.
Shouldn't get too attached. That was really fast of you to get attached that easily.
I was figuring we're gonna get a dog each, but no.
It would have been nice. I'm a little. I think I'm more disappointed about the fact that like he disappeared from the world. So like I
Yeah.
feel like he died now. It's not as simple as he just like disappeared. He like walked away or something. No, he's fucking dead. This is great. Quality content here.
I'm just chilling downstairs on the bed because I can't climb the ladder. I've been banned. Oh, I can climb. Okay. Uh, uh, I can climb the ladder, but I can't get off of it at the top.
That's weird.
I don't know what's happened.
I might have bugged it out a bit by the way I built it, maybe. Oh,
No, I think.
oh, it might be. Okay, it might be positioned differently for you because
There we go. I'm up now.
you didn't even come through the whole ladder hole.
Yeah, I think I glitched out before. I got to the bed. We can snuggle now.
That's good. I'm trying to make 2 more rain catchers, and then so we have plenty of water. Looks like you're just sitting on the
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah, that's what I do while waiting to go to sleep. Oh my god, your eyes are the roof plank.
What?
You're you're floating. You're in the wall now.
No, I'm not. Don't lie to me.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you went even higher.
What? What the fuck are you going about?
Oh,
This build sucks. Damn it. I want to like rebuild this 400 times.
no, the build is fine. It's just
No.
multiplayer
No,
glitchy.
it is not that. It is I want to rebuild this 400 times.
400 times total to get to eventually find one you want here,
Yeah.
or just
Yeah. Cause I hate it. I spend so long to build it and I hate it. Fuck.
I do like the different sections of the workstations.
Yeah. Well, I do like that part. It's all about like finding things that I like about it and things that I don't like about it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to bed down here because I'm having difficulty climbing the ladder, and I think it's just where the car is.
Okay, well I've got 3 rain catchers. I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna go pee.
Go pee, my love. So, how's everyone doing? That bitch.
Damn it. I'm not allowed to go pee.
Well, I guess you have no choice but to sleep.
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to see our new models? You gotta wait till August 1st. Sorry.
Oh no. Bullying them. Bullying them all. Oh,
You think that's the fairy?
huh?
You think that's the fairy?
Maybe. No, that looks more like a fishing boat.
Oh,
I don't think we've unlocked the ferry. I think I have to go to the next zone to unlock the ferry.
I don't know.
Oh,
I have to pee so bad, bro.
get in the passenger seat. Yeah, the car's bouncing as soon as I hopped in it. It was very glitched out.
Goodbye, dog.
Oh, the dog. Oh my god, he sits.
Oh, that's adorable.
I'm just gonna drive up to the beach with a campfire on it.
All right. Sounds good.
The dog is so cute. Why do I have a stinging sensation in the end of my thumb? Oh no.
So I'll let you know when we get near anything. There will be a campfire on the beach at
Mm-hmm.
some point when I'll let you know when we get close.
Brum, brum,
Brum,
brum.
brum.
What's the honk button?
Shift.
Minnie Mum's car. Brum, brum. Get out my car. Oh.
You're a goob.
Okay. I heard I get out of the shower, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Oh, get some redwood up there. Give me a moment.
That's fine. I will sit here.
I've got a decent amount of durafiber, so that's good. Chop, gather, chop, gather. I'll get the big ones. That was a good amount of redwood.
Mm-hmm.
17 redwood.
Yeah. Did I not change my outfit? Thought I did.
Yeah, I thought you did last time as well.
Apparently I didn't. I didn't hard enough, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, because I need paint. That's weird.
Oh, you need paint? Oh, wow. No, ew. Yucky. Let's go.
Itchy leg.
Josh says you're welcome to run there and use his bathroom.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
should
there
be
in a
right over.
minute. Me run. Haha. Hilarious.
I can't even run either. Wee, okay, I think the path down to the beach is just here. Yes. Mm.
Find a wild kangaroo. Right, right, right. They're all by your house. I might as well just fucking run, right? Run to your house if that's what we're doing. Why are these random bowling balls on the ground?
Ah, yes, the bowling coconuts.
I don't want to read all that. I'm not in a reading mood today.
Wow, there are 4 pages. Oh my god.
That is too much to read. Can't I just have one?
You should be able to just take out one.
Take out 93.
I think you should double click on it. It takes out.
I'm double
Or if you
clicking.
don't, press Alt or Control because it might be like stock as being active.
Nope. Holding control.
Now, if you hold, it should take out 10.
Nope. Nope. I'm holding control.
Weird.
Guess I'll take out 93. I'll make my way over there.
Swimming in the water to the little island. I'm hot. I think she's out. Not yet. Yes, I collected her by running her over. Yeah, this car doesn't have the best handling, but it's got a lot of building space. Yeah, I think where we want to head is this hill just in front of us. Oh, we're gonna have to walk up, but it's stairs. I feel like there's a campfire at the top. No! She finally got back and then he hit herself with the door handle in her hip. Elbow? Elbow, no! I'm sorry. How did I not predict the future and then get out there and protect your elbow with my face?
Over you in the face.
And the door handle.
What? Where am I? What are we doing here?
Because there's a big hill of climb here that we haven't gone up.
Okay. I climb.
I think I went up for the recipe thing. But, wow, you just skipped the stairs.
Fuck those stairs. Follow this path.
Follow the dirt brick road.
Follow the dirt brick road. Follow the dirt brick road.
Follow the
I don't know,
dirty
stamina.
road.
Banana.
Oh my god. There's probably a campfire up here. Oh, I see a gnome.
Play banana. Power.
Don't jump, gnome. Don't jump.
Oh no. Oh no.
Cameron. Got a
My
pink eye.
god, ducks. Oh, there it is.
Found a campfire?
Oh, I don't know. I found a blueprint thingy.
Yeah, I think I ran up here in the dark one night and got it.
Oh. Well, then never mind. I'm just sitting there trying to, he's just doing everything without me because he hates me.
No, I ran up here and got it, and I was like, oh wait, no, I don't want to explore here without you. So then I ran back down and didn't do any of the rest. You know, it's itchy.
So it was itchy and is now not itchy because I scratched it.
Proud of ooh. Okay, there is a campfire and a can here.
Water. Ooh, wildflower. Did the ding. What that was about. I don't have any redwood.
Yeah, I don't have any redwood either.
Oh, well, we're fucked. He's dinging me. It's my mom sending me a picture of a bird saying Happy Monday. It is ferruginous hawk. Ferruginous hawk. I don't know.
Banana bread.
My sister saying, "Hey, it's me,"
That's pretty painting.
because it's a picture of a mama hawk feeding baby hawks. And my mom, or my sister, since she's a mom, she's like, "It's me."
Definitely not your mum.
Well, I hope that they didn't regurgitate their food into my mouth. That'd be disgusting. I'm gonna say that too. You regurgitate your food into your kids' mouths.
Making my way down the hill.
Making my way downtown.
I did most unintended path possible. Got a redwood. I'm coming back up.
All right, cool. I am existing here. Ooh.
I almost died on my way down the hill. I literally was just jumping off the the side of the cliff. Wah, wah.
Oh, I guess you already got this painting. So much for not exploring without me, huh?
I got it just then when you were looking at.
Oh, did you?
Up there, yeah.
Yeah, I
There's also some bottle caps up there.
observe it. Still? Or were?
There were.
Oh.
Did you go to the center of the lake? Oh, nope, you can't.
I'm heavy.
Oh no. I can take some things. Oh, there's a well. Did you get the water?
Yeah, I did get the water.
Nice.
I'll
I
be able
got
to
a
have the
heal.
dog help me carry it in a minute as soon as I find out where the fucking dog is.
He's coming back up the hill. I sent him back to the car because his inventory was full
Oh.
to deposit his
Oh
materials.
my god, he's swimming.
The doggo is swimming.
But also I found a gnome.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there. Okay, go deposit the materials while I get this gnome. Sir Shrubby.
He's a cute name for a gnome. Oh, this is the path down to the maze. Good thing we did that already.
Yeah.
Won't have to get nauseous today, my darling.
No. Alright, what have we not done here? Oh, we've got the one to the north now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like the last campfire is gonna be to the far right of like just directly right to the far right of the map from where the car's pointing.
Oh. Oh, right, because there's one that's not marked.
Yeah, there's like a little unexplored spot there.
Okay, towards where the car's pointing. Where are you talking?
At the very far right of the map, there's a little bit of unexplored area.
Oh, wow.
At the end of the road or at the solar farm, there's also a little bit of unexplored spot there.
Where? The solar farm?
Yeah.
Solar farm.
That might be something that I explored while you explored a different spot as well.
I see.
Hurt my ankles getting down the hill.
You live
I
here like,
almost
oh, it
died.
could be at the solar farm, as if I know what the fuck you're talking about. Never even seen a solar farm in this game. Why?
Talking about it yesterday. Huh? Satchel, you good? Delivering materials by walking in a circle.
It's fine. You're under the van from me,
Oh,
from my perspective.
nice. Bug-free game.
Oh, we never did repair the weather the weather guys, right? These guys up
We
here.
didn't. That's over this way, isn't it?
Yeah, just go straight.
We need to make 3 electronics for them.
2 or 3.
Oh, that's the weather station. Okay, yeah, 2. 2. We have so many side objective tasks.
All right, stop.
Why?
Get up. There you go. Oh, it sounds like bees again.
Do you want me to have? I'll run around and harvest the coffee while you make that.
Crabby in the chat if anybody's looking to catch a crabby.
I'm feeling rather crabby.
That's
Snip, snip.
unfortunate.
Running through the coffee field, gathering coffee with me toy, my trusty little toy.
Yep.
Nice, you got the electronics and I fixed it.
There was a gnome under him.
Oh, cool. I don't think he's supposed to be stuck in the roof here, but that's okay. Maybe it's refueling.
Is he stuck in your roof?
Oh, yeah, he's going now. He was just refueling. Getting some more water. Bunch of raw coffee beans.
Okay, well, we did that. I'm not sure what we get from it other than the gnome.
It might just be the gnome. Maybe more coffee grows now. Yeah, I think the section it's water and didn't have a lot of coffee. That had grown.
I don't know. I'm getting ready to come up in this little lookout area to see if I can figure out where all the ready coffee is.
I've gotten some of it.
I've also gotten some of it.
Oh, there's another one over
Oh,
here.
there's one. Okay. I think we can leave now. We don't even eat coffee.
There is a thing to research that requires 6 raw coffee beans, but I'd planted some as well, and we can make coffee into
Is
a.
there?
Yeah, I think it's.
The vehicle?
I think it's the person. No, not the person. Maybe it's the dog. No, or
Uh,
something.
mineral,
Maybe we've done it already.
cactus
Oh
flower.
yeah, the outdoor. Oh, I can do this now. The outdoor building space.
Okay.
Oh, salt and 16 paint to make the last outdoor building space.
Yuck. I need one more seashell.
No. Actually, no, that's fine. We don't really need it too much. Okay, so we continue this way. Yeah, the solar farm's just up this hill.
Yeah. Well, I've not seen the solar farm, so.
We drove past it, but you went to the power the station thingy, and I went to the solar farm.
I
I
see.
think. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum.
Is that the weather? That's not the weather station, though. That's different.
No, yeah, that's different.
We still have to fix the power hub to open the tunnel door and to restore the power at the weather station.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can make a battery pretty easily. Should I make a battery real quick?
We're gonna need a few batteries.
Oh. Or
I
like
know for the exit we need at least 2.
oh, it says insert a battery in the left electrical box for the exit.
Yeah, but it takes 2 battery like parts. If I'm remembering correctly.
Right.
I might be
I don't know. You
remembering.
saw it. I didn't. So.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. We may as well recharge, right?
Yeah. All right, idea.
I'm gonna go to the end of this path that we haven't explored, because there might be a campfire at the end of it. Oh yeah, I see campfire smoke.
Oh, yep. This is the one we're missing.
Perfect. Oh, and there's a well here as well. I thought it started raining, but it's just the sound of the waterfall. Open that to charge.
Sure, I'll just take 91 woods, I guess.
It's really weird that it's just taken all of them for you. Oh! Oh, that's really good.
What?
Wild tomatoes.
Oh my god, that's amazing. We could make pizza. Should probably
I
grow
got
them.
2.
Should grow them.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'm
There's
definitely
a
wanting to grow
satchel over
them.
here. What is in the satchel? Litter. It's trash. Literally. What is dinky pool? They're like, oh, you can have a whole inflatable pool, and they give you this shit.
It is literally an inflatable pool for gnomes. Maybe I can put a rubber duck in it.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about that.
I only just thought of that now.
Why do I not have any processed rubber for ducks? Hold on.
We're out of rubber. I don't know where it all went.
Oh no.
I swear we had a lot more rubber.
$11 rubber.
What are you making?
Nothing. I'm just
Oh,
angry.
redesign it.
Nope, not really redesigning, just being frustrated.
It's okay. I should sleep until the next day, so the plants progress. Maybe it'll be raining, so we don't have to water them again. Nope, not raining. That one and this one I will water because they're both 1 day away. Yeah.
Oh, I found some rubber.
You did? Where? Whoa.
It was in probably the hammock, but maybe it was also in the little mini pool. I don't know. I better find it again because I
Oh,
picked up the pool,
yes. Yeah,
but
they
I wanted to put
probably
the
used
duckies in
it.
the pool. Okay. Yeah.
You can?
No, I don't know. No.
No. What's the purpose of the little pool then?
What is the purpose? I don't understand.
Not big enough for the dog. It literally has no purpose.
Alright, I guess. Lame.
Oh.
Mushroom.
Mushroom. Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. Let me go check by the waterfall if there's a gnome up here.
Alright.
Doesn't look like it. Across the river. Or maybe across. Looks like there might be a path in behind the waterfall. Yeah. Where do we want to head off to now? A little bit of this solar farm I haven't
Oh yeah,
explored.
I'm gonna work on the battery.
Okay, cool. I'll go look at the little bit of a solar farm and gather redwood while I'm going through that I haven't explored.
Oh, we need scrap metal like a bit. Motherfucker.
Yeah, we're really low on scrap metal. Hey, look, there's a bunch of scrap metal in these solar panels.
Where the hell are you?
Running through the solar farm.
Oh. Where the fuck is the solar farm? Is that it up
Literally
there?
on the hills, just right next to, yeah.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll look down here for things. Like
There is
mushrooms and
a
wood.
good amount of scrap metal up here.
Okay, you want me to help gather some or?
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
Done this level.
Oh, I found a scrap.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't done up at the level you're up at now.
Um,
I've currently got 33 on me, which is good.
I've got 3
Nice.
from 1. But I've got like 10 redwood.
Redwood's always useful.
Yeah.
Why am I strafing like this is a shooter? I'm dodging the bullets. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Hey, y'all, honey. Oh, the doggo's fell on me. I think it follows whoever gets out of the car first.
Yeah, that's okay. I just put some stuff in the dog.
Nice. Time to go deposit materials.
I'm gonna fucking die, dude. I need some more scrap over there.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my way back to the van.
Okay. I'm gonna head over there in a minute.
Yeah. It's fine, my inventory is mostly full. So
My inventory's not full at all. I feel like I have a lot more looting to do. Just I'm looking around. Ooh, wood.
Let me see how much wood we have, because I know we go through it very quickly if we actually start using stuff with it. Okay, I got 111 redwood, and what about regular wood? 189. Okay, so we're probably not in an emergency situation for wood,
Look,
but it's still useful to get.
I'm like, that is what I see. I should eat these 2 sun caps that I picked up. Yep, there we go. Yum yum.
Red, deposit all of them.
Bit of anxiety.
Ooh. Okay, so because I found a recipe that requires cactus flower, I know how that cactus flower can be used to make paint.
I already knew that cactus flower could be used to make paint.
I did not. I guess you had already found a recipe for it earlier.
Oh, I don't remember what. I have 29 wood on me. I've lost the van.
It's still by that campfire.
Let's head towards the compass.
Okay, so we need heck?
Damn, Whimsicott got away.
No. I'm gonna go across the bridge to this Cat and Snap and get the last two I think we're missing from it.
Okay.
Oh, and we're in the area surrounded by
I was
rubble.
finally within 200 meters of your brigade. It's fine. It's just a bit more of a walk, I guess.
It's okay, my love. You got this. Oh, are you overweight?
Yeah, I've been overweight for a while.
Oh no.
Okay, I'll get there. Eventually.
Sheriff Rubber Ducky. And the last one's got to be the mallard, I think. Is that what that? Oh, is it what that duck is? Undercover ducky, even though it just looks like a mallard. Brum, 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 brum. Hey, honey.
Hey, babe. I can move.
Let's go. Yeah, we should probably grab all this rubber as well.
I also don't understand who set us out on this objective.
Neither do I. I don't understand the point of this game other than camp and cozy.
I guess it's enough.
Yeah. True, yeah. I think that's all the rubber from this section at least, and there's probably more further up. Why don't I? Oh.
How did I get down here?
Oh, hello.
How did I get up here?
Well, you have to go around the other way. Oh, nice.
I had 4 whole rubbers. I feel like I contributed nothing.
I think I got 5. Well, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well, helps if I stay on the road. We go a little bit faster. These really are like the worst design headlights I've ever seen in a game. That is about driving. Mm. Let's go, honey. Oh, and more rubber. Okay. You just chilling?
Yeah.
Oh, this signal tower has thingy at it.
Okay.
Drive around to the other side of it.
Bamboo counters, hanging party decorations, or counter extensions for sure.
Ooh. Yeah, we might be able to get like double counters now.
No, it's just different stuff. Like, oh yeah, hold on.
Ooh, okay. Got some sink options. We've got some. Adds extra storage on top of your wooden counter with a door so your trinkets don't roll over the place every time. Oh, cool. I see. So it's got like a shelf on it.
Yeah. I wish we could get water out of it.
That would be nice if it was actually functional. $16 props is what we have. Hmm?
This one's specifically marketed towards the rubber duck army. That's fine. Don't worry.
One cup of coffee and I'm fully full, even though that's probably the least realistic thing. Oh wow, actually did really good on the gnome and hands on this map.
Good.
I got 19 of 25 cans and 20 of 25 gnomes.
It's just me making a battery. I got distracted.
Oh no, that's fine. Distractions.
Oh, I didn't get distracted. I was in the process of making batteries. Oh, what the hell? What happened to all the things I was making? I had made 2 electronic parts. What happened to them?
I deposited them into the van. Should just be able to make them from the
Oh,
battery
okay.
assembly.
Okay. Thank you. When it says insert a battery in the left electrical box, is it battery components, or is it a
Yes.
power? Okay.
It's 2 battery components to make the battery to build in to the component. It's just like repairing anything else.
What are you talking about? Oh, 2 battery components for the electrical box?
Yeah.
Hmm. Like that it says a battery instead of 2.
Yeah, it's weird how it says a battery, but then when you look at it there, it says 2.
Well, I got 2
To
batteries.
build the battery.
Got 2 batteries now, though.
Nice.
So we can go head over to that place? Or to the,
Yeah.
actually, we should probably head up to the top.
Yes, we should probably go
That,
to the weather station.
yeah. Or we can go to the, we can go up to that area first and put the batteries in there and then leave and go.
We can, yeah.
Yeah, let's do. Well, we make sure we have everything, and then we can restore the power at the weather station after.
Yeah, I don't think we're missing anything by doing this first. I don't think it will just automatically put us in the next zone and we can never go back.
Put this up here.
Yeah.
Okay. It does say 2, doesn't it? Okay.
Nice. And now we could probably, you want to pull lever Kronk? Yeah.
So we'll be able to leave whenever we want.
Yes, we will.
We're no longer trapped in this area.
Oh yeah, there's some cotton here. Grab it. Can't really do anything with it yet, but I imagine the next area is going to have a lot more cotton.
Like I haven't been up to the spinning wheel. I might be able to make cloth.
Maybe? I feel like we've got a couple of cotton already from last time we were up this end
We've
of the
had
map.
cloth too.
Yeah, but we haven't been able to make cloth.
Oh.
Either have to go all the way around or potential shortcut. Let's go. Gonna be a bumpy ride, my love.
Okie dokie.
Way easy to see with the headlights off.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be able to get up here, but no. Maybe?
Oh.
Oh. Eh,
Go.
eh.
Believe in this. Believe in us.
We're so close. Get a little bit of boost every time I turn the tires.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I think we can make
I
it.
think we can too. Oh, I love this.
Oh my god, we're almost over.
I love this.
We got there.
Good job.
Okay. Now get back onto the road just to go.
Right?
Yeah, just to get us up onto more flat terrain.
Yeah. And go right.
Yeah. I don't know if this. It says it's a hike path, not a driving path, but
We could probably drive it.
I like how you can just turn the headlights on. Oh my god.
This is only a hiking path for the week.
Hang on a second.
I should probably eat.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Fucking
Weirdly
half health.
enough, when a
I have some.
person or something, someone sends a message in your chat,
Yeah,
or like the free followers on blah blah blah,
yeah.
or like best followers on, it doesn't auto ban them in mine.
It didn't auto ban in mine. I
Oh,
banned that person.
weird. I guess it's just not being picked up
I
by
don't
the
think any of my
auto.
mods are available, so. And I'm here, so.
We're definitely not meant to be driving this path, but we got it.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna be good because I don't know if I'll be able to walk up there with 91 fucking redwood.
Yeah, we'll drive around to the campfire. I mean, it's wide enough for the car to actually fit, so maybe it's just like it's just not intended if you don't have an upgrade.
All those people with the upgrades need to get good.
Hmm.
Oh, coming up on the campfire. And apparently the battery's running low.
Yeah, it's down to a quarter.
There we go. I dropped my phone. Oh, if the thing is open, I can take out one.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what the logic is.
A big hike advanced camp. Yeah, we definitely hiked up here.
Oh my gosh. The windmills aren't moving.
Yeah, there's not really much wind right now. That's why it's charging really slowly, but it's still going up decently. I think we just sleep till morning and it should fully charge.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting stuck on the ladder, so I'll sleep down here again.
Oh,
Nope, but it's raining, at least.
that's nice.
Oh, you get so much coffee from planting coffee.
Nice.
I got 40 from those 5 coffee pots.
I don't know how much rain we'll get from these rainwater thingies.
I wonder if it just goes straight into the car?
But because it's raining, it's windy.
Yes, it is, yeah. So we have 6
Yeah,
water currently. I don't know, maybe you can collect it after it stops raining.
no.
Very bumpy path right here.
Mm-hmm. Oop. It's gonna be a tight turn. Oh no. Oh no.
Ooh.
Back up. Oh no.
We're sliding.
Oh no. We might need to walk the rest of the way. Is that
Nah,
just weakness talking?
I've got this. I've got this.
Okay. It's good.
I've got this. I'm gonna make it. I believe.
Ah.
Oh my god, he actually did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just got to angle the car properly. Driving up a cliff. This is what riding on a slime horse feels like.
Yeah. Except more vertical.
Ah.
Oh, we actually had to walk here. Okay. The fuck? You opened it up into my body.
I literally can't get up. I'm gonna go on the roof of the car to get up.
See, we have a weather thingy up here. Electrical. We need 3 electronics.
Oh, it stopped raining. Okay, so 3 electronics, assembler. Now I need sheet metal and bolts.
Dog treat.
Bolts I need more of. Do we need any batteries?
I'm looking so far. I don't think so. No, I think we just need the 3 electronics. Balloon.
Yeah.
We've been up here?
I have, I think.
Yeah, well, I did just find a cairn that was already discovered, so I guess.
This was one of the times where you just drove off on me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm exploring here because you were like halfway down the map.
I didn't even, like, whenever I drive off without you, half the time I don't even realize I've done that.
Yeah, I know. No, I got the electronics. Just get fixed. Okay, so I restored power. Does that mean we can...
Beehive.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the bees. Okay, that's most of everything. Anything else is just well hidden, like cans or gnomes or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, we actually got all the paintings.
nice.
Oh, you got the last painting from up there.
I did.
Nice.
Skilled like that.
Did we get any water? No. Outbound, how do you rain collectors? What? Oh, really? Okay.
What?
You just have to leave the rain collector like out, so it can't really move
Oh,
when it's raining for it to actually collect.
I guess we know.
To the exit now.
Yeah.
Over the hill we go. Wee.
Honestly, weirdly, one of my favorite things.
I'm gonna go
Just
backwards on this
driving
one.
up really high and then driving up so high we have to like just flip the car off the edge.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay. We're down this one. But I've Austin Powers it. Sort of. Okay, there we go.
Austin Powers did.
You know the Austin Powers scene where he gets the golf cart stuck?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wee! Oh, it's really fun. Is that a gnome ahead?
Oh,
I
wait.
see something in that bush. It might not be a gnome. It could just be texture stuff.
Think
Oh, it's a coast berry halfway in the rock. That's what it was.
my wheel's still spinning under me.
Wee! Oh, oh no. Okay, I guess I guess we're drifting down. That's oh, definitely the intended path down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're Australian, we're driving on the left side of the road.
Oh my god.
Look, you've got to like rewire your brain.
That's true, I do.
Did the headlights automatically turn on, or was that you?
I did not do that.
Oh, cool.
If that was me, I turned that off. So I'm assuming the next area we go into is probably gonna have a lot of bamboo.
Bamboo, I assume. Maybe some cactus fruit.
It's gonna be a weird desert hybrid thing.
It'll be a desert jungle.
All right,
I don't know.
it's my guess
There's
too, I guess.
there's two areas we are going to. What we still have left to go to. Oh my god, it's gonna be like one piece, a bunch of islands with different climates. Okay, some cotton.
Rocky canyons.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't look like this
Stop.
is gonna be bamboo.
What does this want? Oh, it's redwood.
Okay, still redwood. Good to know. Ah, tomato plants. This is where you're intended to get tomatoes. We just got lucky with the supply cache.
Yeah. I got water, 2 onyx minerals, and 2 redwood from the supply cache. Ooh,
Nice.
there's a blueprint thingy over here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a gnome on this rock. Gnomey Striker. He's got an Xbox controller
Efficient
again.
mushroom plot, cake maker, or glass smelter. I'm gonna go with glass smelter.
Yes, glass smelter really good. We can actually start getting glass. Cake would be interesting. I
Do
imagine
I need
that the
sand?
yeah, imagine we need sand for the glass.
Amberstone needs a 3rd pickaxe. How does we make glass? Guess I'll find out when I make this glass maker.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of cotton.
Okay, minerals into glass. Any minerals, it seems, can be made into glass.
Interesting. Okay, so it's probably worth crushing some more.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to
Really
see what is
light.
needed for next weight upgrade, I think. 20 glass and 16 clay. I imagine we'll probably get clay in this area.
Yes. Yeah, it's very canyony, and they tend to have some clay. Oh, it looks like there's another bridge that's up in over in the distance.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Ooh, this is a nice looking zone.
Redwood planks.
Still no idea. We might get hyper thread, and well, the hyper fiber in this region as well.
I don't know. I want
Onyx
one
minerals.
more beeswax. If I can get the trellis building. And there's
We do
glass.
have the ability to build beehives with redwood planks. Is that what you're doing?
I've already built beehives. They're right here.
Oh, you have?
They're right here.
Oh, I didn't see them. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Once they produce, that'll get you your beeswax.
Yeah, I just need one more. Apparently, I've already got 4. And then weight capacity upgrades needs 20 glass. Then there's also the building out of glass. Oh, we need to just like set that smasher to just fucking go. Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I set it to go on a lot of onyx metals materials because we need some for research as well. Let me get this. We can. I mean, sure. Useful to know what's the last one. Ooh, ooh. Could be a while before we get that.
Need upgraded pickaxes.
Yeah, I feel like a pickaxe upgrade in this zone will be the best because we need clay, and I imagine that's
Clay
going to
and
be
amberstone. Amberstone's also needed for the next couple upgrades that I want for decorating.
oh nice. Um, if you want to make your upgraded shirt, there is enough in there to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. So every so often I'll just check the Actually, there's not really any purpose for moss rocks other than crushing them into onyx minerals, right?
I guess not. Not so far that we found out.
I'll save like 10 of each rock and then just have everything else processing. Um, goes by the name Mr. Deerfunk guy. Oh
I
wow.
found a gnome.
Do you want me to bring my car around anywhere?
Sure. Probably a lot of cans here.
Probably. How many? 25 and 25 gnomes.
Oh my god. That was so fucking weird.
Did it pull you into the car?
Yeah, I'm in the seat. I'm in the car now.
Oh. Do you want to get out, or do you want to keep?
I mean, might as well just keep going.
True. I guess if you're too far away from the car, it just sucks you in. Looks like there's something over here. That's a crate we can crack open, and a gnome.
Earth leaf. These are not crack openable.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Liar.
Guess we can't in this zone. I keep driving ahead and I'm being back at the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I think literally that gnome is it. Nice. Loops around to... Nope, it's just bushes. Okay. Um. Hmm. Which way do we want to go? Do we just want to follow the border of the map?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll just keep following around here. Come on, doggy. Oh, I see a can across the chasm. The cactus is up here. That's going to be good. I see another signal tower in the distance.
Release me.
Any cactus, or is it? Nope, it's just the flowers on top of some of them. I think I see a gnome. Yeah, that's a can and a gnome. I wonder. Oh, you don't take damage running into the cactuses.
That'd have been funny.
No, that's a big amber stone. Can't mine yet. Phoenix moss. Oh, nice. You got that can. Ooh. I got a little bit of amber stone that I just picked up.
Nice.
Other gnome. Shroomy. He's got a shroom. Supply crate of mushrooms. Right by Shroomy, that is. Thematically, okay.
Hmm.
I didn't realize we could go down here. And I
Oh, I
didn't
got more
think I was
beeswax.
Nice. I don't know how to get back up. I'm just gonna unstock. I fell off the chasm cliff.
Oh, shoot.
Where am I? Oh, it even teleported the car ahead. Well, I'll drive back to you. teleport to the car next to a cat and snap. Please be aware of any hoodlums, any secret crazies you. Okay, we will be. Thank you for the warning.
Where are you?
Hmm?
Wait for me.
Y'all.
Open.
Oh,
Get out.
yeah.
Get out.
Oh, yeah. Owen Nighto. Hello, hello. How you doing? Whoa. That's a lot of things.
Can't wait to play with it. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty.
Amberstone. Mm-hmm. This looks like another bit of Amberstone. Still need our uh um um um
Oh,
my brain shut off.
interesting. We need redwood planks to make this.
To make the trellises?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, you got bits from Al.
Oh, hi Al. How you doing? I hope you've been able to get off your never-ending tilt-a-whirl ride and stop feeling nauseous. I'm not nauseous today. I'm not feeling super hot, but I don't feel nauseous. So I will give that a win.
We
I don't,
take not being nauseous. Where did that pass? Water the old bonsai tree? Did you water that already?
yeah.
Oh. My tasks things have glitched.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, it fainted. Maybe that'll fix it.
Fuck.
Indeed, I do think
You got
that
bit
I
by a
could.
snake?
Said I got bit by a snake?
You said below snakes. You're
Oh.
from both nations. Yeah.
No, I just got I just fell to my death.
Oh. Well, I got an achievement that said below snakes. I don't know what that means. I don't think I was below snakes.
Interesting achievement name.
Maybe I was below snakes. What the fuck do I know?
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's not news to me. I
I
don't know.
indeed think she is very hot. I love her very
It's
much. And
mentally stuff, you know. I don't know. I don't know.
just brain doing one of those brain things today.
I just like don't want to talk or do anything right now. And like I feel I don't know, like I keep getting this stuck in this mental rut.
That's the joy of two of us being here is like you don't have to. Oh, flashbang myself on a torch again.
Like we started stream late because I wanted to just like remake the entire base on top of the house, which I did. And as soon as we started stream, I hated it.
That's okay.
And I
It
just want
means
to
you get to
rebuild it
remake it
again.
again.
Huh?
It means you get to remake it again at some point.
I know, but I don't know.
We can do that now if you want.
No, no, because I need all this fucking redwood. This is why I say like I want to eventually have my own world. Because
Yeah.
because I want to take all the annoying amount of tedious time it takes to sit there and sleep and pick up all the redwood and turn it into planks and sleep and pick up all the redwood and turn it into planks and sleep and pick up all the tulips and turn it into paint, you know, all the stupid stuff that isn't progressing the story whatsoever, but
Stone red melon. Yeah, we just haven't. Oh, actually, the cactus flowers make paint, and it's 2 cactus flowers per paint, so it is worth getting all the ones we see.
that's fine. I did pick up all the cactus flowers. I did that. But the thing is now I want to tear everything down. I don't want to paint anything, you know?
True, yes, because once you tear it down, you don't get the paint back, right?
Right.
Do you want to sleep for the night?
Yeah,
It's just one of those days.
I'm trash. That's why I'm in a trash can.
You're not trash. Wonder if we can plant anything interesting.
Ah,
More tomatoes. Oh, more lavender. And the lavender here.
Jamouche.
And more tomatoes back there.
I was working on subathon things earlier. I want to get psyched about that, you know? I want to get psyched and excited about subathon things. But I think I'm just worried that it's not. It's gonna end up like the last subathon. I'm trying to hype it up as much as I can, but I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job.
We are just awful with social media things. It's like we don't want to spam posts all the time because that would just
I
annoy
want to
people.
post. I want to post daily something because
Yeah.
that's what gets things out there. And like, I feel like it did work last time, but I'm not. I feel like I'm constantly missing something. Oh,
I feel like you're just getting in your own head about it, and it's hard to get out of your own head.
yeah.
And we'll get there. We'll be good. It is the dilemma with subathons. Yeah, we can just take it easy. Don't. If we need to end stream early, we can do that. Not every day is a high energy day, and it's the joys of trying to do anything with mental health issues. It's just sometimes your brain is like, yeah, 1% is my 100% for today, and that's okay. Okay, I feel like I've got most of the cactus flowers in the area again.
I think what I can do is probably end my stream. I just like raid send everybody over to your stream. And then you can just be the streamer for today.
No, you're just not up to it. Are you like I mean, I know the answer to it.
That is not how we raid people. Please. Okay, see you guys over there. I'm gonna end my stream for today, and you guys can